Kilimanjaro Safaris. My name is Haley. I'll be your safari guide today. Now, before we're on the reserve, just a few friendly reminders. Making sure hands, arms, feet, and legs are in that vehicle at all times. Make sure you guys remain seated the whole entire ride. You're going to use the animal spotting guide right above you. That's going to be your best friend for the next 2 weeks. Look for any new animals, some animals you've never seen before, or even those fan favorites. We're going to head on into Little Atturi Forest. Now in the forest, you're going to find your most camouflage friends. They're usually really light in color or really dark, and that's going to help them blend into the forest a lot easier. On the right hand side, you already spot the okapi. Okapis have zebra-like leggings, although they're actually not related to a zebra at all. They're related to a giraffe, and we know that from looking at their skulls. My favorite fact about okapis is that their tongues are so long they can lick their own eyeballs. They are one of the only known relatives of the giraffe, sort of like the cousin of the giraffe, if you will. Now let's keep going and see what other animals we possibly spot in Little Atturi Forest. Now those animals here in Little Atturi Forest do have stripes on their back. Having stripes on their back, the sun is able to reflect off of that, so they are able to see and camouflage a lot easier. Coming up on the right hand side, you're going to see a couple animals. The reddish brownish one down there is known as the bongo. Bongos are known as the ghost of the forest. If you look at their horns, they're more slick back, twisted, helps them go through any small bushes or any small plants a lot easier. You're also going to see the greater kudu antelope, the light gray one on the right hand side, super tall at 55 inches tall. Once you're done looking on the right, on the left, I do spot that black rhinoceros covered in mud. It looks like almost like a white rhino. Black rhino is pretty small for a rhino, weighing 3,000 pounds. It's going to have a pointed shaped mouth, helps them grab any small leaves or any small plants a lot easier. Maybe you're really introverted, maybe you don't like hanging out with people. This rhino is just like you. They usually live in solitaire all by themselves. Last but not least, on the left-hand side, you're going to see a couple lovebirds, the saddle-billed storks. One's a boy, he has black eyes, the girl has yellow eyes. They're actually about 5 feet tall, which may be taller than some of you, and their wings are about 9 feet wide. Alrighty, let's head on out of here into Safi River. Safi River is where you're going to find your most aquatic animals. Definitely keep an eye wide open, see if you spot any aquatic animals. Now coming up on the right hand side, you're going to see that pink back pelican. Now it's not going to be a super hot pink, it's going to be a really light white pink. They do get this color from mating season, and they are typically in groups about 20 to about 500. And that group of pelicans is called a pod. On the left hand side, there's those Nile hippopotamus. A lot of people think that those can't swim, but they definitely can. They just prefer to walk. They can actually hold their breath for 5 to 8 minutes underwater at a time. Now usually when you tip those all first mate, they actually open their mouth really wide and big. And believe it or not, whoever has the biggest and widest mouth is usually that leader of the hippo group.
At least they don't attack. They don't try to attack.
Alright, on the left hand side, you're going to see those Nile crocodiles. Nile crocodiles can actually weigh up to about 500 pounds. They eat half their body weight in one sitting, and they do only eat once a week. Make sure everybody remains seated for me. That includes the kids too. They gotta remain seated for me, please. Say you've got child sitting down. They can sit on those laps so they sit right next to you. Hi friends, I need that kid sitting down. Thank you. They eat half their body weight in one sitting, and they do only eat once a week. They are typically around 16 to 18 feet long. And a lot of people do think those are alligators, but they're not. They're crocodiles. And the easiest way to tell the difference between alligators and crocodiles is you look at their snouts. Now they do say crocodiles sort of always look like they are smiling, so keep an eye wide open. See if you spot any smiling.
If you remember remember the days when you had to.
Alrighty, on the right hand side, you're going to see that baobab tree. Baobab trees are also known as the tree of life. They'll tens and thousands of gallons of water for these animals and also acts as an emergency resource. With those baobab trees, it does also act as a sign of direction, so if they're lost, they do look for that nearest baobab tree. Any holes in the tree, those are actually test marks from animals trying to access that water as well. Now there is just a little bit of backup traffic. We should hopefully be moving very shortly soon. We're going to head into the savannah here, home to many of those fan favorites, like those Maasai giraffe or even Hartman's mountain zebras. Now this is also times when animals like to come really close to us, so if you haven't already, I always recommend having those phones out and ready, either on live mode or video setting. It's definitely just to help you capture some of your action shots a little bit better. Now it is early morning, so sometimes not all the animals have came out yet. So maybe look at any trees or any bushes or see if you spot any other ones.
Too bad we don't talk about the squirrels.
On the right hand side, you're going to see those wildebeest, the gray shaggy fur coats. Wildebeest typically migrate in big old herds, so one moves, they all move, kind of like a big game of follow later. They all get their name from the Afrikaans, and people thought they were wild beasts, hence the name wildebeest. Now let's keep going and see what other animals we possibly spot out in the savannah. Alright, on the left-hand side, we're going to be spawning African painted dogs. Now, these dogs, they're right here in the grass, right here on the left-hand side. You don't miss them. They're super cute, but they have a 90% successful rate of hunting. Most animals only have a 20 to 30% successful rate. A female African painted dog can have a litter up to about 21 puppies, which is the most of any dog. And lastly, don't call them hyenas. They're going to be super upset at you. They're actually most related to domestic dogs you have at home. On the right here with the big old horns is known as the Ann Coley cattle. Now those horns may look really big and heavy, but they're actually really light in structure. Kind of like a honeycomb structure. By having that honeycomb structure, air is able to circulate and blood is able to go through. Essentially kind of a nice little AC at all times. You're also going to see the stable antelope back there. Those slick back horns do help them protect themselves from any animals coming at them from behind. They do tend to be fighters in nature, so like I say, they fight for conservation. Last but not least, everybody favorites those Hartman's mountain zebras. All zebras have their own unique stripes, just like all humans have their own unique fingerprints. A group of zebras is called a dazzle, sort of like razzle-dazzle. And the baby zebra can actually imprint or recognize their mother just within over 15 minutes of being born. So the way the stripes look the same, they're definitely pretty different. Alright, on the right hand side, you're going to see a Maasai giraffe. Now we know it's Maasai giraffe from looking at their messy leg spots. But please know Maasai does not mean messy. With these giraffes, you must always see them eat about 16 to 20 hours a day. They also only sleep 30 minutes a day, taking their naps in about 5-minute increments. Now, a group of giraffes is called a tower, kind of like watchtower, making sure everybody's okay. Of course, giraffes are one of the tallest animals in the savannah, being about 18 feet tall. A baby giraffe can be about 6 feet tall, and it actually takes another giraffe about an hour to give birth. But they are pregnant for about a year and a half. Now let's keep going, see what other animals we possibly spot out on the side of the savannah.
I just don't get how that animal can be a killer.
I do spot more wildebeest, and then a little bit further up is going to be those springboks, light brown backs, and white bellies. They can actually jump about 9 feet tall and 6 feet wide, doing a motion called prancing. They are super small but super mighty, I always like to say. We do not miss those springboks, all that right here inside. Now we're gonna keep going to see what other animals we possibly spot out in the savannah. Alrighty, let's head on out of here. We're gonna look for any African elephants in elephant country. Now there are other African elephants in the shape of their ears. Pretty easy. They're shaped like the continent of Africa. The other most type of common elephant you'll see is Asian elephants. Now those are a bit different. Those are small, round, and chubby ears. Have you ever seen elephants flopping their ears? They're probably just a little overheated. Once they flop their ears, they can actually lower their whole body temperature by about 15 degrees. And so it is essentially having a nice little AC unit at all times. Let's see, look, I don't think I see any yet so far, but let's keep going, see if we spot any other ones. Now, how do you tell if the elephants are female or male? You can look at their herd size. Male elephants are actually kicked out of the group once they reach a certain age. Now, don't you worry though, all those boys eventually form little groups called bachelors, so all the boys live together forever. Once you see those female elephants, they're mostly going to be in big groups, maybe some small elephants, maybe some bigger elephants. They stay together forever and work together just like a village to take care of one another. So those females have like unlimited babysitters, so they do work together and take turns taking care of any little ones in the herd. Now you can also look at their weight too. Boy elephants on average weigh about 13,000 pounds, where those females weigh closer to about 8,000 pounds. Now I'm sure you all have your own favorite snacks that you have to get all the time. Coming up on your left and right hand side, you're going to see some red clay. Red clay is an elephant's favorite snack. It has a bit of proteins, nutrients, and supplements, so definitely keep an eye wide open. See if you spot any of those red clay markings. Being an elephant was definitely here earlier, grabbing a nice little snack. Luckily for us, I do spot African elephants. We're just going to go around and see if we can get a better view of them. A lot of them sometimes put dirt on their back. They love to put dirt on their back. Helps cool them off, protect their skin, as elephants have super sensitive skin. Sometimes they make like sort of like a lotiony, if you will. They get dirt, they get water, they mix mud, and dirt all over themselves helps cool them off a ton. I can already spot this is going to be our boy elephant group. They're just a little bit bigger in size, so we're going to go around so we get those bachelors a better view of them. You're going to see a lot of the animals that do hang out by the baobab trees. Baobab trees are also known as the upside down tree. As if you were to flip it upside down, it does in fact look like the roots are growing up. Now there's actually more muscles in an elephant's trunk than their whole entire body. Every time they drink water, they slurp it up, hold it, and then put it in their mouth. Even when they grab food, they're just like a picker as well. Definitely do not miss our boy elephant bachelor group. They're super cute, super fun. Left-hand side, you're going to see a flamboyance of flamingos. A flamboyance of flamingos is a group of flamingos. Now, these are specifically the greater flamingos. They're the lightest in color, but the tallest of all flamingos. Now, with these flamingos, if you spot any ones that are gray-like or white, they should probably have an end of shrimp ring. It does take about a year or two for them to fully turn pink, and like I said, they do that by having a whole bunch of shrimp ring. Definitely do not miss this flamboyance of flamingos on that left-hand side. going to be those white rhinoceros. Keep an eye out, see if you spot any of them. They love the light, it helps cool them off, protect their skin. Also super fun to play in.
Well, they left their footprints.
All the animals in here in here in Savannah are really endangered. Like the white rhinoceros, a lot of people think the horns have magical, mystical medicine powers, but they definitely do not. We can actually get keratin, which is in their horns, in our fingernails and hair, and so it's super important to spread a message of education as well as conservation. Even donating to even local conservation funds that go towards those causes. On the left-hand side, you're going to see these funny cheetahs in the grass. I see people walking around. Cheetahs are one of the fastest land animals, running up to about 60 miles an hour. They actually have a black stripe under their eyes, just like baseball players. Having that black stripe under their eyes, the sun is able to reflect off of that. So they are able to see and camouflage a lot easier. Going to be spot any other cheetahs or any other animal on this side. Straight ahead is Kopi Rock. Kopi Rock is home to our lions. Our lions are very nocturnal. They sleep about 16 to 20 hours a day. They sleep all day, every day to conserve all that energy they need for hunting. I just put that female lion right on top of that rock right there on the left-hand side. Female lions are known for being hunters, so the boys typically stay at home, protect the family, or protect the pride. And you know, so she's a girl because she doesn't have that big old mane. Boys have the mane. Boys have that mane, it does get darker and bigger as they get older. Once fully grown, that mane can weigh up to about 30 pounds. Now we still got to look at boy lions. There's 3 lions in total, 2 females and 1 male. They're actually all siblings, so they're all from the same litter. If any of you do ever call him Simba, you're technically not wrong. Simba does translate to lion in Swahili, so that's where they get that word from. I do also spot those white rhinoceros, so we're just going to get a lot closer very shortly soon. I do spot the male right here on that left-hand side as well too. He's kind of on the lower part of the rocks. If you do get to hit that lion's roar, you can hear that roar actually up to about 5 miles away.
Hi, kitty, 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 kitty. Yeah, kitty, 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 kitty.
Alrighty, on the left-hand side, you're going to see if you spot any warthogs. Warthogs actually build their homes called the warthog burrows. They sleep with their chests facing out, which help protect themselves at night. But you do ever call him Pumbaa. Pumbaa does mean foolish in Swahili. I see them walking around back there on the left-hand side, if I do not miss it. We're going to keep going just a little bit further because I do speak the white rhinoceros, and I want to talk more about them. These white rhinoceros are currently in a group which we like to call a crash. They're very social animals. They actually weigh up to about 5,000 pounds, so pretty big for a rhino. Believe it or not, they're pretty blind. They can only see about 10 feet in front of them, but they do have impeccable hearing. They can definitely hear us right about now. Alright, now coming up on the right-hand side, you're going to see a few of those ostrich eggs. Each egg can actually weigh up to about 3 pounds each. Now, if it was fertile, it hatched in about 45 days. Although you could stand on one of those eggs and they will not break. Nigerian dwarf goats. Yeah, they've been today with these goats. Whoever's the most playful, silliest, goofiest goat of them all is actually the leader of the group. A lot of farmers don't want these goats for the dairy products that they could. It is actually the most nutritious milk out of all the animals, and goat cheese, if you're a feta, definitely one of my favorites, so highly recommend going over to Rafiki's Pony Watch if you haven't already. Now let's keep going and see if we spot any other animals here in the savannah. Now, sadly, friends, our journey is coming to an end, but no worries, you gotta Gorilla Falls after this. It's going to be a 20-minute stroll. You'll see some okapi, you'll see some hippopotamus, even spot those gorillas, so don't miss them. You can take strollers, wheelchairs, and AVCs to there. If I do have any wilderness explorers, you're upon the symbolic line 1, like you ride the number 1. And lastly, friends, if you do enjoy it, at Disney Conservation Fund, my favorite way to learn how to Starbucks here at Disney's Animal Kingdom. If you ever order that white mocha flat top latte, again, that's a white mocha flat top latte. All proceeds go to that Disney Conservation Fund. So you're actually helping the animals in need and grabbing that coffee, one of my favorite ways to help out the animals and grab that coffee as well. If you do want to learn more about these animals from the comfort of your bed, you can always go on to Disney Plus. If you didn't know, we actually have our own show called The Magic of Disney's Animal Kingdom on Disney Plus. Learn all about the animals here at Kilimanjaro Safaris, Animal Kingdom Lodge, and Epcot. Go seas. Alrighty, friends, I hope you had fun on our little 2-week adventure together. It almost felt like 20 minutes. Again, my name is Haley, and it was my pleasure being your safari guide. If you guys have any questions about the safari, maybe about animals you want to see, or anything in general, always feel free after to stop by and say hello. We are just waiting for a dock to open up, and they'll get you back on over to the village of Harambe. Now, before we go, I do want to teach you guys one more word in Swahili, and that is kwaherini, which means to go well. Alrighty, friends, so as I approach my dock, my friends, kwaherini, go well, go wild, have a great day here at Disney's Animal Kingdom, or wherever your journey may take you. Always come back, as number 2 safaris are the same, and you'll just never know what you see out there. Have a great and amazing day, friends, and kwaherini. You got it. On the right hand side, your hands are